Yo, it's your man, Money Making, Money Sean, Cold War Soldier. I'm in the building. It's going down today on New York, home of Hip Hop TV. I got a special guest all the way from Money Earning Mount Vernon. My man, no other than Talent is Just Comedy.
That's right.
It's in the building. What's
Hip
good?
Hop connoisseur. Hip Hop connoisseur.
What's going on, bro?
Everything is love, man. Everything is good, man. You know, just happy to be here.
Dude, well, people always think, they say, oh man, this is a hip hop show. You know, what is Talent doing on the show? You're a comedian. The thing is that the Talent, like, we go back from like high school, everything, man. Eddie F, you name it, we been there.
Right.
And Talent actually did a record. It was called The Stars Are Shining. And with my man Phase 3, shout out to Phase 3. And I think it was Eric Lee, Easy Lee.
Right.
Eric Lee. It actually was out. It was out and everything. And people don't know. Like, they see Talent, they think, oh, he's just a comedian. No, Talent DJs.
Right.
He does karaoke.
King karaoke. Let's be real. No one's better than karaoke. You know what I mean? My karaoke game is right up there with my comedy game.
Yeah, man. But definitely, I wanted to invite you to the show, man, because a lot of artists, you know, I do in off Protect Your Neck Records, and a lot of time the artists don't know about the NDAs. They don't know about stuff that you actually went through when y'all had to put the record out. So, you know, expound on that a little bit, and then let's get into what you doing, man. Because you are off. I mean, movies.
Yes, sir.
You everything, man.
You got to touch everything. I think that's, you know, I always say being a comedian, you know, you have the most branches in that tree to reach out and do everything else. So it's a better avenue, if anything, to take to whatever you want to do. If you want to do movies or TV or whatever. But coming from that hip hop background, you know, all through high school, that's all we did.
Yeah.
Actually, middle school through high school, and you get into the era of the Heavy D days.
Yes.
You know, Heavy D and the boys coming out of Mount Vernon. We were right on the heels of that in production, shopping. Demo after demo after demo. We had great management, and we actually signed to B-Boy Records. And this was the time where KRS-One did Criminal Minded.
Yes.
And it's crazy because Criminal Minded probably would have sold probably a couple more million than it did. But that's, at the time they released, that's when we were transitioning to CDs. By the way. So you could get the cassette or the CD.
Yeah.
But at that time that they pressed all his units up, they got stagnated on hold because the company fell apart at that time, B-Boy Records.
Yeah.
Bill Kamara, who was running B-Boy Records, left the country. Just took all the money, left the country. Label couldn't do nothing. So we're in Chunking Studios. Mid-album. Shut our time down. We're almost done with the album. And his thing is stagnated. He has Sparky D on the label.
Right.
JVC Force.
JVC Force, my man.
So all of us was on this label that got stagnated, but who was hitting at the time was KRS-One.
Yeah.
So we was stuck. We couldn't do anything. The label didn't want to release anybody. That's why he was going through this back. Jive paid a ton of dough and moved mountains to get KRS-One because he was hot.
Wow.
And he was already had sales waiting to happen, pending.
Right.
So we went to Uptown Records where Heavy D and them was.
Right. Shout out to Uptown.
Yeah, shout out to Bob Celestin, who was over there.
Andre Harrell.
And Bob's a lawyer for the place. So Bob was like listening to the stuff like, love you guys. Let me represent y'all. We're going to try this. We were trying all these type of things, but B-Boy wouldn't let us go. So 1 year turned into 2 years, 2 years turned into 4 years, and so on. So in that time of waiting and trying all these legal things, at the same time, my toes were dipping in the comedy water. Those opportunities were coming up. And then when it was clear and apparent that, yo, this is what you're supposed to be doing, I just made a hard right, and everything else was history.
But see,
that never came out.
See, you started when you started doing the comedy. You were first on the TV. You were in the movies. Right. You didn't just like do a couple comedy joints. Right. You were in the movies, big.
Yeah, well, it didn't take long. Had the day job. 9 months into comedy, I was like, I gotta leave. Everybody's like, yo, you're this young dude making all this money. And it was true. Like, my salary for my age was totally lopsided. Like, you know, I was going to be rich either way.
Yeah.
The calling, you couldn't do both.
Right.
So, you know, with the wear and tear, I had to make the decision, left there, did comedy for maybe a little over a year. Boom, landed the first movie, Sunset Park. You know what I mean?
Because I went to the movie and said, yo, that's my man right there.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
And then, you know, my actor friends with man, it's just so much to go with it. You know what I mean? But to take that hip hop ride and to be there firsthand with the Heavy D's.
Yeah.
I remember having conversations with Hev.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
As soon as Sunset Park hit,
yeah,
me and him talking, he's like, okay, listen, you're doing your thing. You might be careful with your name. He said, because, you know, as you go on, you're going to grow, you're going to mature, and the name's going to be very significant. Because if you look at Hev went heavy into acting.
Yeah.
And
he
wasn't Heavy D. He started to really go Dwight Myers. Dwight Heavy D Myers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he was transitioning.
Yeah. Because he showed in he had the It's Just Comedy. Not It's Just Comedy. In Living Color.
Right. He had the theme song in the opening.
The theme song in the opening. He had the movie where he was the raking the grass in the jail. I forgot the name of the movie. Yeah, he had that, and then he came on a TV reality show. Well, it wasn't a reality show, but like a sitcom or something like that.
Yeah,
where he came in.
He was making appearances.
Yeah, he made appearances.
Living Single
yes.
with Latifah in that.
Yes.
Then he made appearances. He was with Will Smith and Hitch and all.
Yes.
Like, he was making all those appearances.
Yeah, he was doing stuff.
He was heavily vested
in
the acting thing, hence him living on the West Coast for a very long time.
Yeah.
You know, but he was like, we would be on the phone a lot, and he would always talk about that, you know what I mean, and the ways to approach that on the business standpoint and everything. That was just a good dude.
Yeah. I remember, man, when Eddie F had the Gym Sounds, and we was down in the basement, and I had signed up to the military, and you know, my other man, he got hemmed up.
Right.
And after that, man, it was just like Hev came on, and then I came home for like maybe on leave or something, and I seen him. He was in that blue station wagon. He said, "Yo, jump in, man. I want to let you hear the track," you know. And that was when he did this the big stuff, and I was like, "For real? Y'all did that in the basement?"
Remember the. You know what's funny about the basement? Fun fact. I don't know if you remember this. Eddie F has the garage/basement set up with the studio and everything.
Yeah.
In the very beginning, it was like only a 4/8 track. Remember the 4/8 track?
Yeah.
And back then, I'll Be Sure was going to be a rapper.
I remember that.
I'll Be Conceited.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he had the record. I remember walking down Fifth Avenue towards Gramberton, and Al pulls up in the car. Was like, "T, where you going?" I was like, "No, I'm just going down." He's like, "Get in."
In the Black Max?
Yeah, so he did right. But he wanted me to hear this demo. Horrible. Demo was horrible.
Yo, Al, he said that. He said
Al, no. Why you think Al's a singer? Al tried to be a rapper. He's played this demo. I'm in the car like, "That's my dude. I can't tell him this thing is horrible." He said, "What you think?" I said, "I think, it's playing."
Gave him a little, yeah.
It's playing.
Okay.
You know, you don't say good, you don't say bad. And then he got out, we dapped up and everything. I was like, "Oh my God, is this serious?" And then like before, you could even make a big deal about it, 6 to 8 month span, Night and Day was coming out, and his album was coming out, his image was revamped, Quincy Jones was on board, and then boom, he was platinum and he was I'll Be Sure.
Yeah.
And like the rest was history, but unless you was close to it, you didn't know he was about to have I'll Be Conceited in your life.
Yeah, he rolled me around in the Maxwell. We went up to the high school, and it was mobbed. Everybody got the buses. I said, "Yo, what's going on?" He said, "I told you I bought a record. I got a record out." I was like, "Get out!" And it was crazy, man.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
We just worked together last summer on one of those big festivals up in Rochester, and it was just like good to see him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, get out and stuff. Yeah. I'm on LinkedIn with him, man. He's doing a lot of stuff, radio and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but that's good, man. You did acting, comedy, you DJ, you did hip hop. Yo, there is a take with you that I gotta get a hold of.
Canute?
Canute
From high school, yeah.
And I was doing. Yo,
media class.
I cracked up.
Kettler,
I said, "Oh my God, yo!" You was rapping and everything, and Canute was doing that. I was like, "That's crazy."
Yo, we did so much stuff. Like when I look at it now, I send those because Canute posts them every now and then. He's just in the mood, and I snatch them and forward them to my son, who's 26 now. who's doing all the same things.
Oh, wow.
Who's doing the rap and
Talented,
producing his own videos.
yeah.
Now he's a comedian, the second year on stage. Like he's doing all those same things. He enjoys those same things.
Right.
And when he looks at it now, because you know that's 86,
Yeah.
87.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, it's the young talent. It's like he got to see himself.
Uh-huh.
Because he's that guy, you know what I mean? He's like right there. And it's like he's like, wow, just looking at the whole breakdown of the DNA. But you do everything, like I said, you're in a tree that have the most branches. When you're a rapper, yeah, you could do a little acting and a couple of things, but the limitations, only a few of them can really spawn all the way out.
Yeah, a lot of
Latifahs. You know,
yeah, a lot of
Will
hip hop
Smiths.
artists can't do it. Some of them can't do it.
Very selective.
DMX was good. He was good with it. Who else was good with it? A lot of the old school rappers really didn't get into that.
Well, I don't think the opportunities were the same. I think now opportunity, they kind of, if you look back in rap, you got the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and it wasn't until the 90s, midway, that they was trusting rappers with that transition.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? Everything else was in a box.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, you got rap over here. Because you got to keep in mind, first, God forbid, first 20 years, they still was living the whole, it's a phase thing.
Yeah.
It'll pass.
Yeah, it'll pass.
First 20 years, it'll pass.
Yeah.
Then it was like after 20 years, the executives start scratching their head like, okay, maybe this thing ain't going away.
Yeah, we need to get in.
See if he can do this movie with Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
exactly.
And so you got, you know, the
transition
Leah
was
the DMX and
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is like even with that, some of them can. That's one easy transition. Like I could take a rapper who's this mega star in rap and throw him in this action film or throw him in this comedy movie. That's cool. But now when you go past that, like Latifah can host the Academy Awards.
Yeah, that's
You know
crazy.
what I'm saying? Like, you know, Common is getting Grammy and glory.
Right.
So these things are different. Now they're trusted with more things, but even now it's a selective core group.
Few, yeah.
Right. When it comes to comedians, it's different. It's like a slew of them doing everything. Every year the awards, they're looking for a comedian.
Oh, wow.
It's almost like, look at the whole Kevin Hart thing, right?
Right.
It's like when he dropped out of hosting the awards, it was like they had nobody else. Now, if you're a guy sitting at home like me, I'm like, I could give you 100 names of people who could host it.
Right.
But to them, they were like, oh my God, we have nobody. You know, if Kev's not going to do it, we have no, because they're thinking in that comic mind.
Okay.
If Chris Rock can't do it, and Kev can't do it, and Wanda Sykes can't do it, and Amy Schumer, you know what I mean? They're thinking in that comic mind because they want that comic relief because of an otherwise boring evening it could be.
Right.
Award shows can be boring if you don't
Right.
do something to spice it up.
Right. Let me ask you a question. Who was the first well-known comedian that you performed alongside of? Like you opened up a show,
The first one?
or like you did a show and it was like Chris Rock there, and it was, you know, like the first one that you really did a show with.
Well, I think like almost everybody in comedy that was big. Let's say I started in '92, so like I got to work with everybody, but I think I was more in awe of music acts because my background. Like I think everybody, the common ground of all people, no matter what walk of life you come from and what color, music's a thread that's in everybody's DNA.
Okay.
So I think I was more in awe of when I got to open for big acts. You know, when I opened for the OJs, when I opened for Tina Marie, when I opened for George Clinton in Parliament, stuff like that. James Brown.
Yeah.
I opened for James Brown, dude. I'm like this.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm like those people. I was like more in awe of. But when I started, you know, I got on the stage. You got to realize, '92 I started. So by '94, I'm living in LA, right?
Wow.
I'm working on Sunset Park. You know, they give you the home, you're living in, you got your car and all that stuff. So everywhere I go and all the stages I'm hitting, I'm sharing those stages with the Andrew Dice Clays, with the Chris Rocks, with the Martin Lawrences, like all those guys, like me and Chris Tucker, you know, and stuff like that. We started at the same time.
Right.
So guys like Kevin Hart came behind us that we had to put him on our stages.
Oh, wow.
So he had to shine with us and then, you know, supersede.
Right.
But everybody, man, I think the only person that I didn't hit a stage with that I probably would have wanted to was Richard Pryor.
Oh, really?
You know, Rich, by the time I'm in it, Rich is kind of on his downfall. He's not doing as much.
Right.
He's in and out of wellness, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so, and he's still coming to the comedy club in a wheelchair, barely moving, checking it out,
Oh wow.
laughing and and enjoying it and being wheeled out and wheeled in. But he wasn't hitting the stages.
Right, right.
But like a guy like Andrew Dice Clay, you sitting there and you see his name on the lineup and you're like, Andrew Dice, and he looks totally not what you're thinking you're going to see, because he's not in character mode. He's in work these jokes out mode. So you got all that stuff there, man. I mean, New Edition, and like, to me it was the music things.
Right.
Have
you ever seen?
Yeah, it's more challenging.
Have you ever like did a little something beside Eddie Murphy or anything like that?
Oh yeah, he's been in the house. Like, Eddie's a frequent of the comedy stuff. Like, most of us comics, the ones who are really good, you can tell they love comedy. So not just their own comedy, they'll go to a comedy show when they're off and they'll laugh.
Oh wow.
And entertain themselves, because that's how they got attracted to it in the first place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we do. Like, we loved it. One day we sat down and we watched this at some point, to the point where it was like, wow, we love that. We want to try that. I think I could do that.
Right.
So you still have that love 10, 20, 30 years later. So like, when they're off, they go into the comedy clubs and they check stuff out and they laugh and see who's hot right
That's
now.
crazy.
Who's,
You
who's,
never
who's
think
funny.
they'd come by and sit
Oh, yeah.
down. Now, you just did the was the comedy honors. That was what, like 3 years, like 2 years,
Right.
3 years ago.
Right. We did
And,
two and a half years ago.
That was the first.
That was the first one.
Actual awards for comedians to be honored.
Yes.
And how is that going? Like, are you still? Is it coming back this year?
Yeah, it comes back like right before the winter. Usually like that November time.
Oh, okay.
So it'll go again. The LOL Comedy Honors. It's like mind-boggling. Like, that was like a comedy family reunion.
Yeah.
Same, like, you know what it
D.L.
reminded me
Hughley
of?
was there.
Yeah. George Wallace.
Oh, it was big people.
Paul Mooney.
Yes, Paul Mooney.
Gilda Radner's
Yes,
family honored
yes.
her, the Pryor family. It's like, it reminded me of, we were in L.A., I want to say about maybe 3 years ago, was Def Jam 25.
Okay.
Right? Netflix did Def Jam 25, so it was the 25th anniversary of Russell Simmons' Def Comedy Jam. And you talk about a reunion. Me and Mark Curry were just together talking about, laughing, like, everybody, at the end, they said, all the comics on the stage. And everybody's there, man. You're looking at Tracy Morgan paying homage to Martin Lawrence. Like, he looks up to Martin Lawrence because Martin gave him that next break, between the show, between Thin Line, between Love and Hate.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That was Tracy's next thing. You know what I mean? And he always paid homage to him, and he did a special presentation for Martin. But everybody's there. Steve Harvey, everybody that ever touches Chris Rock, Eddie Griffin.
Right.
Everybody you can think of. Russell's there. Bob Sumner's there. Stan Lathan's there. I mean, everybody who had anything to do with, anything was there, And that's what LOL Honors reminded me of. With everybody in that room.
Yeah, it was packed.
Bill Bellamy, everybody.
Oh, my God.
Dale Given. It was crazy.
It was packed, man. And I was just like, he was like, yo, take a picture. I was like, I got you. I'm looking
and would
like.
you believe that as long as we've been doing it, as many people we have, names that we're calling out, it's never been done? That's crazy.
Yeah. And you told me that. You said
crazy.
This is the first time it's ever been done. And I was
that's
like,
why all those people showed up.
Yeah.
Shout out to Marsha, the producer of that. Like, Marsha, and the funny thing about it is, this is how weird karma works. Marsha has zero to do with television and comedy. She comes from the record world, record labels and music. And she just was sitting somewhere in a living room or whatever, and taking care of her kids and saying, it's never been an award show honoring all these people.
Oh, wow.
And that's how, in her brain, it started. Make some phone calls. How do I do this? Blah, blah, blah. Put together a council. Called me and said, we need a council of like 7 people. And I was like, I know what it needs to be.
Right.
It needs to be, I know well-rounded people.
Right.
You got to call Coco Brown. You got to call Guy Torrey.
Right.
You got to call Tina Graham, the godmother of comedy. You got to put down, Adele Givens.
Right.
Rod Rodriguez, Ruperto Vanderpool. You put all these people together, and now you have a council who's going to give you a well-diverse structure of what needs to be done, but why.
Wow.
Instead of just give me an award.
Right.
Because for the first 3 settings, like, they want to give people awards that all of us on it was like, other than Adele, because of the queens of comedy, we'll wait. We'll wait for our awards. You know what I mean? The New York Kings, which is my tour out, I can wait for that. Guy Torrey, Trailblazer, he could wait. You know what I mean? And we just structurally did that because we have a bunch of people who, if you wait 5 years, who knows? They might not be here to accept it.
Right.
Paul Mooney is not 100% well. You know what I mean?
Right.
Get him right away. Marshall Warfield's been forgotten.
Yeah.
Get her in there.
Yeah. She did a good interview. She's real nice. She I think I had on a suit and she had on a suit. She said, "You look kind of dapper. You look better than me." Like, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah, she was dapper.
She was really easy to talk to and stuff. So what do you have like going on now? Is there any up and coming movies? Any I know you're touring like crazy.
Right.
Every time I call you, you're touring. Yo, where you at? Yo, I'm out of town, bro.
Comedy's no different than hip hop, man. Like your bread and butter and your money you're gonna make on a consistent level is gonna come from the road.
Right.
You know, yeah, you can cut deals all you want, and then there's that lump. But that lump, you got to live X amount of months or whatever off the lump.
Right.
But when you're on the road, you paying as you go. You good. You got a constant flow. The only difference in today and before is in the 90s, you were being picked to be in movies. You know, now you realize the importance of ownership. So now we're picking people to be in movies. Now we're writing our own movies. We're producing our own stuff. Movies and television is not the way we grew up on it, and you had to learn that. It takes years of studying to see the transition and know what streaming is.
Know
what streaming is, and to know that the average American is doing everything on the phone, and they're doing it in less increments. Everybody's not got time to watch an hour now. You know, we're the generations that are watching and streaming, they're watching in 10, 15, 20-minute intervals. And you got to learn to produce that way. Yeah, we just crush content that way.
We just lost the director, black director.
Singleton.
Salute to
John
Singleton, his family and stuff.
Boys in the hood.
Yeah, he really I did some background. He really put a lot of people on, man. I didn't know he was. I didn't know he was that. Boys in the Hood, but I didn't know that he was doing other things, and it had other people getting other movies and other sets. So he was really like.
You see the little things like Freddie Ricks was at my comedy show last night. Very funny guy, and in closing he shouted out John Singleton. He's like, you know what? He said, to show you how people work. He just ran into him at a comedy thing one time, made the guy laugh, helped him find his seat or something. And he's like, man, I gotta get your number, before we leave. Long story short, they, didn't do the number thing. But then he tracked him down. And next thing you know, Freddie Ricks has got a good role in Shaft. Remember they came back with Samuel L. Jackson? And did Shaft over, boom, he's in Shaft. You know what I mean?
Right.
Chris Rock coming to my club when I was running the Boston Comedy Club in the Village. He used to come in there to work out. Every time he was going to do a special, he would really hit the clubs and work out. And one day he was in there and he just randomly was like, yo, man, I appreciate throwing me up, man. Who's your agent? I was like, William Morris. He said, okay, cool. And never knew what that was for. And then he had a new show come on HBO, the Chris Rock Show, and then it aired, and when it debuted, boom, it's me. He debuted my clip. Like they did a fake God Bless the Dead. That was when Stewart was still alive from ESPN. So they did the reenactment of ESPN doing the highlights, but it was the highlights of Def Comedy Jam. Our episode just aired before their show, and then they did a highlight thing. It was dope as hell. But I was like, okay, I see what's going on. And he didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? Stuff like that that gets passed on and handed out. It's just dope.
So that's crazy, man. You're a well-rounded entertainer, man.
Gotta be, man. Gotta be. When you love it. You know what I mean? When you love it, we're talking about the tour and the road. That's why this tour that I'm doing now, the New York Kings Comedy Tour, it's that next tier of heavy-hitting headliner comedians. Like when you've seen Bernie go out, Bernie, Steve, DL. That was heavy. That was some heavy hitters getting together on one accord. And we come from New York. So the only difference is we're New York Kings. So we go out there and do the same thing, put those heavy hitters together, and nobody can follow these guys. Only we can follow each other. You know what I mean? If anybody else in the mix, it's too heavy. Like these guys are like bust a gut, twinkle on yourself, pee your pants, funny. So we've been doing this. This is our 3rd year out, and we just taped the first live taping in Brooklyn. In November, we taped the actual overall special, put it all together, for Netflix, man. So that's 3 years. That only took 3 years of being out. Wow. Producers, all that stuff on board. So stuff like that is crazy. We just did 10 shows on Broadway at Caroline's. I go back to Caroline's Memorial Weekend this month and just do 5 shows by myself headlining. But we got about 50 more dates on the table by November. Wrap it in the can, and that's TV.
Are you? Because I know you used to DJ.
Oh yeah, I
this
still
dude
do.
used to DJ in the club and pack the club out full of ladies coming. Talent, hi talent. You know, he's just DJing, man. It was his thing. Are you going back?
Why do people want to talk to the DJ? Right? Yo, leave me alone. I'm trying to, people are listening to this music right now.
Listen, so what's the next club you're going to? Where could people
This is the birthday month, so the month of May I will be everywhere.
Bro.
Thank you, bro.
How old are you? How old are you?
I'm gonna be up there, man. It's 2 digits.
I tried to get him.
It's gonna be 2 digits.
2 digits.
You're not 9 years old. Though, so it's gonna be 2 digits.
Look, man.
I'm gonna be a little bit everywhere. Like I said, Caroline's Memorial Weekend, Atlanta. I'm going out to Atlanta. The weekend before that to do the Oak Club, the Oak Comedy Club, for 7 more shows. I'm still like at home, so I just kicked it off last night at Red Rooster. You know what I mean? I got to do something at home.
Rest in peace to your mom too, man.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate
that was the transition you went through, and I kind of went through it with you because my mom is ill now, but she's still holding on. But
it's a club you don't want to welcome nobody to. I tell you that.
Yeah.
But more importantly, that's another tough thing that people don't talk about with comedians. Like all those same things the average Joe goes through. Losing their moms, losing their parents, kids, whatever the case may be. We still got to be able to go hit the stage and push through it like it's not going on inside of you. You know what I mean? But that's our thing that, we pay it forward through our work.
Well, on that note, man, I wanna definitely thank you for coming to the show, man. New York Home of Hip Hop TV. Definitely gonna be bringing some more people on, hip hop artists and stuff like that.
Need that, man.
I had to show love to my people in Mount Vernon right here that I really know and really grow up and respect. So definitely thanks for coming, bro.
Respect. You already know.
Definitely shout out to everybody out there, to my sponsors, United Culture, Aspiration Travel, Hot 914 Radio, Modelosity Online, Mo Looks Photography, HHQ Magazine, and 91.3 The Plug, and Aspiration Travel. We in the building. You already know it's your man, Money Sean, Cold War Soldier. Heard?